spot today for our own generosity. I now request my dear friend Francois Gautier to take over the reins of today's event. Come on, Francois.
Thank you, Prakashi.
Thank you very much, Prakash. Very grateful for your kind words. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I would request host to please go ahead and spotlight Francois. Yes.
In 99, actually, I landed in New York, and you were there to pick me up with a few friends and took me to your house. That time there was no museum, so I had gone to give talks in the USA, and I think you're the first person I met in the US, because I had never been to the USA before, and you're the first person I met when you picked me up from that airport, not the one in New York, the other one, forgot the name. So grateful to you and for your kind words. Now, is it my turn to talk, Pragna?
Yes, we are all waiting for you, Francois ji. Very eagerly waiting, everyone.
All right. So this morning we talked about karma. Now, karma is one of the secrets I discovered in India, that everything is karma. What you have done in past lives, what you're doing today, what you'll do tomorrow. A person has a karma, an individual has a karma, a nation has a karma. These things I have learned in India. I don't think as a Westerner I would know about this unless I had come to India and got that knowledge from the sacred land that is called India or Bharat. Now, I believe that everything is karma, that I came to India because of some past karma, some past life, though I have no recollection. I can't say that, I remember this life. I don't. But it makes sense that the moment I stepped into Indian soil as a young 19 years old, driving from Paris to Delhi, being totally ignorant about India, not interested outwardly, the moment I set foot upon this country, that very night, I felt I had come home. So some good karma I must have had in my past lives. I met so many great people, so many gurus and simple people. I met my wife Namrita 30 years ago. So all these I attribute to karma. Now, nations have karma too. And I think India has a good karma compared to a country like China, for instance, who has been extremely ruthless toward the Tibetans, for instance. It is said that the Chinese killed directly or indirectly 1 million Tibetans out of 6 millions. Mao Zedong killed at least 4 or 5 millions of his own people, in his craze for purges and producing steel and imprisoning people that he found were against him. India has a good karma. India, never tried to impose its religion upon others, never invaded other countries to impose its way of life, like Islam and Christianity have done. So it's all about karma. So this museum is also my karma. There must be in me some past life or some, events in my past life that made me be a defender of the Hindus. Indeed, you can call me a defender of the Hindus. I won't be ashamed of that. I have come upon the Hindus right from the moment I started my career as a journalist, when I met them in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, and I was overwhelmed by the kindness, like Kru Prakash, the same kind of kindness, hospitality, gentleness, openness, like so many of my friends in India and in the US. So I am grateful to India, and it is my good karma that I've come to India, I have met all of you, and I repay that karma. There is one virtue when you enter spirituality, whether it is the mother, Sri Aurobindo, or Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, they all say that the first quality of the heart is gratitude. Like gratitude to be alive, gratitude to see nature, gratitude to have come to India and come to know so many people, gratitude to have met so many great people. So I have a gratitude towards India, towards Bharat, and this gratitude I've translated it into writing articles, defending India. I don't think there are many Western journalists who have defended India like I do. Sometimes I have thought of myself as a small man, as an insignificant person who came to India by accident and and landed up in Auroville and somehow managed to do some journalism. But I think one of the first qualities also of spirituality is that to recognize my own self, to see that there is some guidance, there is some greater being that is acting in us. So I'm grateful to India, and my gratefulness has been translated into defending Hindus, because I have found that there is a living spirituality behind Hinduism. What people call Hinduism is actually propped up by an infinite spirituality that comes straight from the Bhagavad Gita, from the Vedas, from the Upanishads, and that recognizes that the world is many, that there is not one religion, one God, but there are such a diversity of people, such a diversity of gods, such a variety of manifestation, and this is the greatness of India. That Hindus, even simple Hindus, recognize that diversity, that God can be He, it can be She. Very few religions recognize the fact that God can be She, that the Shakti, Sri Aurobindo said, without her I am unmanifest. The great avatar Sri Aurobindo said, without her, without the Shakti, I cannot manifest myself. So the Shakti, the Hindu religion, who knows that there is a psychic being inside all of us, there is a divine spark in all of us, and that from body to body it reincarnates, and keeps on perfecting, keeps on developing, keeps on, amassing more divinity. So this is an infinite knowledge, and I have been very fortunate that I have come to India and touched upon that knowledge by reading great saints, by meeting the mother of Pondicherry, Sri Ravi Shankar, who has been a great influence in the life of my wife and myself, the Dalai Lama, whom I love dearly, although I'm not a Buddhist and I may not agree with everything he said, but he's a wonderful being. And I have met so many saints and sadhus and wonderful people who have touched my life and made my life worth it. So tonight, of course, it's about the museum, but it's also about India, about the greatness of India, which today is endangered. Let us face it, there was a question yesterday about whether the Hindu Dharma or that infinite spirituality, shall we say, will survive the onslaught that is going on now from Christian conversion, from Islamic fundamentalism, from Marxism, from the westernization. The westernization of India is probably the greatest danger today, is that through television, small villages, the most remote villages now have television, cable television, and they see these ads where you wear a suit and you're a man, or you buy a 60 rupees cream and you become whiter, and this Bollywood, which is full of falsehood, that shows, that life is so easy, it's all about singing and dancing and, all these stereotypes. This is a great danger also to this Hindu Dharma, the westernization. So many countries have fallen prey to westernization and been submerged by it. I think about the Philippines, even Japan. Okay, Japan preserved a little bit of Japanese, but on the whole, the Japanese have become so westernized. Taiwan, wherever the Christian missionaries have gone, Korea, whenever they have gone, they have taken the soul, sucked the soul of the country and imposed, westernization upon this country. I am a Westerner, but I see the failure of the West. I know many of you live in the United States, but it's a failure. The West has failed, particularly Europe. There is depression there. There is people are divorcing, people are unhappy, people are killing each other. So in India, we have this precious knowledge, which I'm defending because It's the Hindus who are holding that knowledge. This museum is about what is that knowledge? What is the history of that knowledge? How much has been assaulted? How much it has suffered? And how it survived? We see that Islamic invasion, which have been extremely bloody, extremely violent, have overwhelmed so many countries. Egypt, one of the greatest civilizations ever. I mean, probably on par with India. The occult knowledge of the Egyptians, their medical knowledge, their spiritual knowledge, gone, completely gone. Only in museums today, only in tombs of the pharaohs. But India, which was submerged by invasion after invasion, and people like Aurangzeb or Timur, who killed 100,000 Hindus in a day, that knowledge has survived because there's a divine grace in India. Now, we need to stand united. We need to be united, and Hindus have to be made aware that they're facing great dangers. It is the second Kurukshetra war which is happening now. Mr. Modi, who's probably the prime minister that India has been waiting for 70 years, is facing so much hostility. Again, from the same people, from Christian missionaries, from Islamic fundamentalism, from Marxism, from Western ideology, from his own people, his own media, his own intellectuals. So I am a Frenchman, I am non-Indian, non-Hindu, but I feel that it is my karma, it is my dharma to defend that knowledge. And I hope that I can be an example to many others that this knowledge is worth preserving. I've written articles, I've written books, I'm doing that museum, which has been a very difficult task. I mean, sometimes I have felt like, let me give up. What is the point? What is the point? It's a losing battle. What is the point? And yet I plodded on, I carried on. Of course, my life has been my wife has been a great support. But often I felt, what's the point? What's the point? It looks like Kali Yuga is, is a losing battle. That the enemy, within and without, seems to have the upper hand. But in the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita, we need to fight. I think the message of Lord Krishna to Arjuna is so relevant today, that it should be taught in schools, it should be taught in universities, because it's universal. You don't kill the body, you cannot kill the soul, you only kill the body. Life is eternal, and it is your duty to fight, it is your dharma to fight. You need to fight for the truth, for the good. And this is something that, touches me immensely. The message of the Bhagavad Gita is something that has ruled my life and is still ruling my life today, that whatever my faults, and I have my faults like everybody. I seized upon something when I was 19 years old. Now, 45 years later, I'm still faithful to that thing, that this is a sacred land, there's some sacred knowledge here. It is worth defending. It should be defended. It is my karma, my dharma to defend it. That's this museum. Now, let's come to the museum a little bit. It's been a very difficult task because, as you can see, could see yesterday, and probably you will see today, people do not donate much. They think that if they donate $20, $50, their duty is done. This museum, costs. I mean, the museum I want to do will cost, at least $300,000, which I haven't got. I'm far. I will never get probably in my lifetime. But I'm able to do small pavilions. We have 17 pavilions now. We have 22 exhibitions. We're doing a series of exhibitions on the women warriors of India, because again, married to an Indian, knowing India from Tamil Nadu to Pune to Delhi, I know how women are sacred in this country. There might be abuses, there might be rapes, but women are upheld in this country. And to be a woman in India is not a shame. It's something, even in Tamil Nadu, where I'm at the moment, you can see in the villages how girls are prized. So to change this image of India being the land of rape, we're doing a series of women warriors. Ahilyabai Holkar and Tarabai, of course, then Rani Kitochenama, then Jijabai, the mother of Shivaji Maharaj, was such a great influence on him. Later we have Rani of Jhansi and many others. It is important that you defend your country in the United States, because I see the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, they spew so much rubbish, so much venom against India, against Mr. Modi. When Mr. Modi withdrew Article 370, it was so wrongly reported in the West, including my country, France. Nobody explained that Kashmir is divided in three: Ladakh, where there are Buddhists, majority of Buddhists, then Jammu, where the majority of Hindus, and the Valley of Kashmir, where there were 1 million Hindus in 1900, and today there may be 25 or 30 left, and all the rest were chased out by terror. Nobody said that. Nobody said also that Mr. Nehru promulgated a law whereby any Kashmiri Muslim could come to India, start a business, buy a house, buy land, but Indians could not go to Kashmir and do the same. Totally unjust, totally unfair. So Mr. Modi set the wrong right. But none of the Western journalists said that, except me probably. Kashmir, very important. We're talking about the hostility that India is facing at the moment. China is one of the biggest hostilities, the biggest danger that India is facing at the moment, because the Chinese are much more powerful than India. They're much more ruthless. They have taken hold of Tibet with one view, be above India so that in case of a war like in 1962, they can swoop down upon India. And indeed, since then, they have built airport, they have railways coming right up to the Indian border. They can bring soldiers in 2 days. But India is lagging behind so much, and Indians are very innocent. Every time, whether it's the BJP or the Congress, they get conned by the Chinese. The Chinese have a very clever game. They get very aggressive. They seize territory. They pretend to negotiate. They withdraw a little bit, but keep some territory. So India every time is a loser. So that war is an important war, and again, India needs our support. Mr. Modi needs our support. The Pakistan, the nexus that China has with Pakistan and with Nepal and with Sri Lanka and with Burma is a very dangerous nexus. India is surrounded by hostile countries. So important that we stand up for India. This is what I have done with my museum. I need your support because this is a Seva museum. My wife is still a textile designer. She works independently, trying to get some orders to design in textile. I'm still a journalist. I write books. This is my latest books, An Entirely New History of India. What I have put in the museum was first written in that book. Everything that I'm planning to put in the museum, I have to put in the museum in this book and books before that. Now, so this is my Seva work, and we depend entirely on donations. The entrance of the museum is free. In 2019, nearly 10,000 people visited the museum just by word of mouth without any publicity. Many school children came also, and this makes my heart happy because, as I said, it's been a very difficult endeavor. I have felt a lot of threats, a lot of problems, a lot of financial problems. Once we had to borrow money on our personal account because we had run out of money in the fact account. So difficult, but I carry on. As I said, it's my karma, it's my dharma, and maybe my next life, people will remember I have done this museum, and it'll be good for my next karma that I have done this museum, and I'm hoping to continue. So I'm counting on your support. We need about $10,000 in the next 6 months. I have started, as I said, with 4 exhibitions on women warriors. Then I've started an exhibition on Vijayanagar, the last great Hindu empire. There are no exhibitions that I know of on Vijayanagar. And then we need to build 3 new buildings to house the exhibition of Talabai, Rani Kitochenama, Vijayanagar. There have been heavy rains in Pune, so we have to renovate some of the buildings. I need to AC some of the buildings because the paintings are deteriorating with humidity. I have hired a pandit. We have a temple at the entrance of the museum dedicated to Shakti, to Mother India, Bharat Mata, and I want to hire a permanent pandit that artis and pujas throughout the day and all important festivals. So a lot of expenses. So I am aiming for these two talks, these two webinars that will be able to raise $10,000. I'm counting on your generosity. Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, all of you. Namaste.
Thank you. Now we will go ahead and we will be having a look at the museum. And we will, of course, have the Francois come back again in 5 minutes. Let me just share the. So this is the Bharat Mata temple he was talking about. And as I mentioned, when we are going to museum, the museum is such a royal building. I've seen it myself in 2016. It's a lot of work Francois ji has put in. Let's look at the museum, and the way we are going to museum is we are going to go ahead and go in the royal way. So there's a trumpet, an instrument which is mostly used to show the auspicious beginning of anything. Let me know if you are able to see this.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Hold on 1 second. How about now?
No,
Can you see
no,
that?
not yet. No.
Okay.
No, we can't see it.
Okay, 1 minute. Let me just, there's some technical issue always. So give me 1 second here. How about now? Can we see all?
Yes. Now, yeah.
Now we will be going through another set of music, and I will just share with you in a minute. And that's known as Dol Tasha. And Dol Tasha is now being played by Jai Bharat Dol Tasha Pathak. And I will be just opening it. Bear with me for a minute. Are we able to see this?
No.
So I hope you enjoyed. Now we will go to the museum and we'll share the museum video. So before we go ahead, we will just check the new exhibits, which are very recent ones. This is the one with
the Hindu.
Hold on one second. Just 1 second here.
The Hindu.
Are we able to see the picture?
We can't see
Yes?
the video. We can see your PowerPoint. We can't see the video.
Okay, okay. Hold on. Hold on 1 second.
As you can see, one of the first panel is about Mohammed Ghazni, who unfortunately is on.
Yes, I think I need to remove this. Sorry about that.
In Indian history books, but actually was a butcher and
So I'll start it from
Hindu Holocaust exhibition. As you can see, one of the first panels is about Mohammed Ghazni, who unfortunately is honored in Indian history books, but actually was a butcher and killed a lot of Hindus. They speak about 1 million Hindus who died on the Hindu Kush, slaves being taken as slaves to Afghanistan, who died of the Hindu Kush, and this is why even today it's called the Hindu Kush, the massacre of Hindus. So is absolutely unique. It's a difficult exhibition because people say, oh, why do you after it's so depressing? But we need to look at the past squarely. You know, Hindus have never looked at their past squarely, and they need to do it now, and we hope that the present government is going to help them.
Hold on 1 second. We'll see one more.
Museum. It's a very unique museum. You know, in India, there is no tradition of private museums. Most museums are government.
Chhatrapati Shivaji was the right combination of perfection in politics and the epitome of spiritual values. Once again today, India is in such a place where it needs leaders like Chhatrapati.
ह्या दोघांची म्युझियम आजूबाजूला ह्या दोघांची म्युझियम आजूबाजूला जगात असं कुठे नसेल. ह्या आपल्या काळाला जे जे काही करता येणं शक्य असेल ते मी केल्याशिवाय राहणार नाही, हे वचन मी सगळ्यांच्या समोर आपल्याला देतो.
Physically, we are same.
So wasn't that a beautiful museum? You just got a very short glimpse of it. In fact, it's one of the, now there are so many new exhibitions added. So I would also now share what Francois told about, what is the help needed. And you can just have a look at this. You will understand that, there's a lot of work remaining. And I would ask him to go ahead and, share the expenses needed, as well as, the overall budget about what is the total fact museum proposal plan and what kind of help we are needing. So I would request Francois if he can share.
Ratnadi, I think Francois is stepped away, so
Okay, so we can just
keep moving ahead.
Right. Actually, I would just request our treasurer, Chandrakalaji Kamath, to just go over these 2 slides and then we can move forward. Chandrakalaji? You can unmute yourself. And yeah, you just have to unmute yourself. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Are you able to see what I'm sharing?
Of what has been spent so far and what is needed. The original land was extremely barren. So they have been getting water into it by having a rainwater irrigation pond as well as another well. And the buildings have been coming up one by one, starting with the Bharat Mata temple first. And these are all that have been established with the help from individual and multiple donors. Second slide.
Yes.
So this is the running operating expense of the salary for staff of 8, 2,000 a month. And other administrative and operating expenses are about 300 a month. So total expenses are 2,300 per month. Now, what is planned is the big 3-story building, which will, for the foundation, the cost is 50,000, and the construction and all the exhibitions and movies that are going to be in it will cost a total of about 1,020,000. So 1,020,000. So the total that is required right now is a minimum of $1,070,000.
Thank you, Chandrakalaji. So I would again request, and see, this is a pledge card. You can go ahead, and our volunteers are actually adding the donation link in the chat box. If you are not comfortable going online, you can just give your name, your address, your email and phone number, and the amount you would like to pledge in the form of support, because you can see there's a lot of work going on. And Francois is so kind that he does not charge any entrance fee to the museum. He feels that every Indian, including the kids, need to know their true history. They have a right, and if we charge, some of them may not get that privilege of knowing who we are, how rich is our heritage. I think we need to go ahead and support this. As Chandrakalaji mentioned, one can also support for the new buildings. You can support for like an immediate expense of $10,000, as Francois mentioned. One pavilion, like he mentioned, there are 9 pavilions for brave, Hindu warrior women. If you want to sponsor one, it's $13,000, and your name or in the honor of name will be displayed there permanently. One can also sponsor 6 months of museum expense, which will be somewhere around $13,000 for 6 months and $26,000 for the whole year, because the staff needs to be paid. So my urge is to go ahead and open your heart and wallets. Now, these are the links you can go ahead and start donating. This link you will find in factusa.org. It is right there on the landing page, and you can see it in the chat box. It's through PayPal or through credit cards. It's very safe. If you are watching from India, I know there are a lot of attendees from India. We do have an SBI, link, State Bank of India, which is again right on the museum website, www.factmuseum.com. Another way you can do is also immediately go ahead and read the book, educate yourself, because if we don't do that, you can see, a lot of us like to continue our culture no matter where we, like especially in people in US, I can say that thousands of miles we come away from our land, our native place, but we love the food we eat, we love the way we dress, we love our culture, and we try and do everything to preserve it here. But if we don't preserve our history, which is distorted by invaders, then I don't think we will be able to pass on this rich heritage and true history to our future generations. And you can see from the world history that if we don't incorporate the right history in the education system, complete civilizations and cultures have been wiped off in just 20 years. Like I can give one example of Mayan culture, which was actually wiped off by just killing the education system and the true history and culture in 20 years. So I would request Chandrakalaji and Dhirenji to come and share, I'm going to share some of the donor names, but if we have any new donors here, then let's go ahead and display their names. And I would request both of them to come and share their thoughts.
Yes, hello. One from yesterday that we missed was Kisan Chavan, $50. Harshad Patel today, $101. Sudha Dixit today, $100 so far.
Okay, anyone else would like to pledge?
We have one anonymous of $1,500.
Wow, let's give them a big hand. Dhirenji, would like to share your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, and thanks everyone for joining today. I think this museum sends three messages in a very brief. One, we were not always defeated, or we did, it is not true that we did not have some brave soldiers and brave heroes in our history. That's how the history that we read today gets projected, that we were always oppressed. We did not have anybody who had courage to fight back. So this museum highlights what many of our heroes like Shivaji did.
I think there's some technical glitch. He will be joining us in a minute. I can see because a lot of internet disturbance. So thank you for holding on, and please bear with us. He will complete his thought and then we can move forward. Meanwhile, feel free to go ahead and keep writing. As you can see that if you don't want your name to be announced, you can mention it as anonymous and we will respect, if you want to keep it private. But as I said that if we don't create, because this is really one of the first kind of museum of history. If most of us, in US, if we go to DC, if you go to New York, half our time is gone in watching different types of, museums. So museums is a way in the new era of 21st century to preserve and pass on the heritage and the knowledge which we want to pass on. So I think we all need to...
Am I audible now?
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, I don't know what went wrong. So what I was saying is that the museum gives three messages. One, we were not always, that we did not have any brave soldiers, or we were not always defeated. We had so many. Shivaji's empire was bigger then Mughal Empire at one point, Shivaji Empire actually conquered even Delhi. So our new generation needs to know this. And that is important for them to feel proud about our heritage. Second message it gives is that we always were oppressed by invaders so many times, and yet we have not taken on to terrorism. We are not taken into going into somebody else's territory and doing atrocious things like capturing their women. In fact, we used to respect our ancestors. Shivaji Maharaj used to respect the women, even if they are defeated. The women were treated very nicely. Third message it gives is, we are often told that our society suppresses women, but we had, Kitu Chinnamma in 1820, who was queen, and there was army under her, respecting her as commander-in-chief. Whereas in US, even 100 years later, women were not even allowed to vote, let alone being president, that they have not been even till today. So we had such a rich heritage, and I think this museum is sending that message. And I think our next generation, young children, if they visit such museum, they will know the truth. So that's all I would say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dhirenji. I would now display the names of the donors who have been offering support. And I would request Chandrakalaji to read the names and share a little bit, and I'll also display the names of donations for 2020. Can you see this?
Yeah. Can I speak now?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. Our top donor is the Agarwal Foundation and Avadesh Agarwal, 35,000 over 2 years. Dr. Bandaru, he gave about 14,000 for one pavilion. Dr. Gandhi, Raj Gandhi, we have an audio video center because of his donation of 12,000. Dr. Hans Gandhi, 10,500. Ravi Tilak, over 2 years, 10,000. Vivek Kapoor, 5,100. Gopinath Gandhi, 5,000. Mr. Reddy, 5,000. Mr. Junjunwala, 3,002. Dr. Chandra Shekhar, 2,500. Nar Kapula, 2,500. Pradnya, 2,230. Dhiren and Kiran Mehta, 2,000. That was last year. Dr. Shaila Karandikar, 2,000. Pankaj Maheshwari, 2,000. Tarun Agarwal, 2,000. Raghu Chalive. For one of Francois' trips, he financed the whole tour, $1,793. Dilip Mehta, 1,523. Hasit Bhatt, 1,500. Mandar Apte has been regularly donating, 1,500. Manju Kothari, 1,500. SMAP, this is the Maharashtrian organization. They gave us 1,351 this year. Ashutosh Gupta, 1,100. Dr. Bandaru again, 1,050. APPWW this year, 1,001. Mihir and Tanvi Meghani, 1,001. Palamla Mahiznan, 1,001. R. Veera Raghavan, 1,001. Venkatesh Rangarajan, 1,001. Anand and Manisha Dabak, 1,000. Bhailal Patel, 1,000. Dr. B.P. Lati, 1,000. Dr. C.S. and Prema Pichumoni, 1,000. Dr. Shubhangi Thakur, 1,000. Gaurav Bhargava, 1,000. Joydev Acharya, 1,000. Preeti Mahajan, 1,000. Shakuntala Lakhani, 500.
Thank you, Chandrakalaji. I would now request Dhirenji to acknowledge the contributions this year, 2020, from some of these donors, and we still have a long way to go. So can you please read, Dhirenji?
Actually, we do have some online donations as well. So please announce them afterwards. Yeah.
Do you have it in the chat box? We can announce it.
Yes. They have in the chat box. Yeah.
Yeah, then we can go ahead and I will just read those names. So I don't see anything right away.
So it's on
No,
your
I announced
it's on your personal message.
Okay, okay, okay.
Thank you. Sorry, I was muted, so I needed to unmute it. Now, am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
My internet is giving me a lot of problems. So, Shreyas, would you like to go and announce? I'm not able to even see the screen right now.
Yeah, actually, Shreyasji, you can go ahead and read this file, but I'm just going to read the online donations received now from Indu Day, Alok Chaudhary, Indu Day from India, Suman Dasgupta, Chandra Samsher Singh, Sukumar C. Thanawala. So thank you so much for all our supporters back in India also are doing the donations. And I guess there's, yeah, these are the ones. Now, can you please go ahead, Shreyasji, and read the names from the US, the donors this year?
Absolutely. Dr. BP Lathi, $1,000. Dr. Raj K. Gandhi, Giridharan Bharatan, Mandar Apte Anu
Ayachit.
Naresh Chalimeda, Pragya Khisti, Priti Mahajan, Ravi Tilakji, $5,000, Sharayu Hilpule, SMAP again this year as well, Vikas and Nidhi Mehta, V. Junjunwala, Prakash and Nila Vagmareji, Virendra and Vidya Labro, Akshay Joshi, Nutan Bagul, Dr. Chandrakala and Yashwant Kamatji. Anonymous donation that Dhirenji just announced. So thank you very much, everyone, for your generous support this year as well. Obviously, we have a long way to go this year.
Yeah, thank you so much. And now we will go back to our program. So again, we will keep this displaying here, the links for you to buy the books as well as to go ahead and do the online donation. So keep doing that. If you are not comfortable, you can use the pledge form and just put the information, email us. And now I would like to request Ganesh ji. So let me introduce Ganesh ji. Ganesh ji, are you there? Can someone unmute Ganesh ji?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
there.
Yes, Ganesh ji. So Ganesh ji is another very dedicated Karyakarta. He's an engineer, an MBA, very professional, successfully IT professional, has been dedicating his, I almost say that more than 2 decades for the Hindu Swayamsevi Sangha work. Anytime you invite him, ask him for help, he's always there. I always say that you are one of those dedicated karyakartas who does all the work behind the curtains. And he also is the board member in Feeding the Middlesex County in US. So he's doing a wonderful project with Seva Diwali, tons and tons of food being given to to the ones who are hungry in US. So without further ado, I would request Ganesh ji to please offer a vote of thanks to our supporters, donors.
Thank you so much, Pragna ji. Thanks to everybody, especially mainly Francois ji and Namita ji. They're doing a wonderful, wonderful job. What we could do is just a very minuscule of whatever that efforts that they are doing from Bharat. And I would try to do justice as what Shreyas ji did a great job of vote of thanks yesterday. I will try to do my best. So all the attendees and donors, without you, nothing would have been possible. And as this efforts are completely, we thank you from the bottom of our heart. And especially to all the volunteers of FACT USA and all on the world around. All the volunteers, with your monumental efforts, each and every efforts have been instrumental in bringing up all these initiatives of Francois Ji and the Fact Museum. And then the Fact Museum staff and technical experts, Gayatri Ji, Chauhan and Vinay Ji. And Akshay Ji Joshi's Itihasika also played a very important role. And we have very good media partners, Telugu Radio, especially Vilas Ji and staffs, Dil Radio, Pradeep Ji and Snehal Ji, One Universe Radio, Sandeep Ji, and Nikunji from Kona for bringing that wonderful session with Francois Ji. It was a very good awareness session where we could see and hear a lot of aspects on what are the ramifications of bringing up what the crux of Francois Ji's work. And Mana TV, Sharad Ji and Ragini Ji for their wonderful, very quick response. Jai Bharat, the Dol Tasha, Patak, and Jen Vasanji and Manisha Ji, a wonderful job. Obviously, Hindu Swayam Sevak Sangh. Art of AOL Foundation, Isha Foundation, SMAP Parivar, and Manju Ji from Telugu Association, president being the president of Telugu Association. Youth singers, Prisha, Kripa and Ishan. We heard Kripa singing the national anthem. It was such a proud moment. It was wonderfully rendered. And thanks to all the young youth singers and mainly to the effortless, sometimes even voiceless, sometimes all the efforts of the FACT volunteers who are being silently background working on that. And a wonderful thanks to all the leadership of FACT USA and mainly Francois Ji and Namrata Ji. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much, Ganesh Ji. It was beautiful. So what we'll do is we do have a question and answer session, but before that we will do the Vande Mataram, and then we can have a little more time also if needed. So I would request our young master, Ishan. Ishan, are you there? Can someone unmute Ishan? Do we see Ishan here in the room? Okay, in that case, I would go ahead and share his video.
So Pratnaji, what might be Ishan's screen name? We can.
I think it's Ishan only, but if you don't see him, then maybe he may have left. I'm just going to go ahead and play this and share again. So hold on 1 second here. Bear with me. Give me 1 second. And sorry about this. Technical difficulty. Yeah. So are we able to see his video?
Yes.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam Malayaja Shitalam Shasya Shamalam Mataram Vande Mataram Shubha Jyotsna Pulakitayamini Pullakusumita Druvadana Shobini Suhasini Sumadhura Bhashini सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम्.
That was beautiful, isn't it? So let's give him a big hand. And this is the, the youth from US. So you can see that clearly we are able to keep the culture going here. So now I would request Francois ji, how many of us do we want to have, do you have any questions in the audience? Would you like to ask any questions? Our co-host can, let me know if there are any questions here so that.
So one of the questions that got asked was, how can we volunteer? How can we help Fact Museum apart from money?
Yes, so I think first of all, you can see that we need volunteers and, we need to spread the word. So in any form, you can use your skills, help in spreading the word, help in getting the, people who can offer the financial support. You can help in any form or way you wish. Feel free to write us at factusa2018@gmail.com. The email address is being provided in the chat box. We have some more online donations. We are happy to, go ahead and announce it. Vihang Ghag, Harshad Patel, Swapnali Patil. So thank you so much. There's still time. Please keep, please go ahead and keep opening your hearts and your wallets. And at this point, I would request Francois ji and Namrata ji, if they would like to share any words, before we take a stop. If someone can unmute Francois ji.
Francois, I unmuted you. You need to unmute yourself now.
Yeah, it's working. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Namrita has gone to bed because it's past 11 here in India and she has an early morning tomorrow. So she asked me to tell you that, the importance now is that Hindus unite. You are only a minority. The people who are present tonight are only a tiny minority of the Hindus in the United States. How many are you? 1%, 2%? How many active Hindus are there in the United States amongst 4 million Hindus? 3%? 4%? Is somebody going to answer me?
Maybe 1%.
1%, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Every time I go to the US and I give lectures and I see in universities how many thousands of Indian students are in universities, American universities, and how uninterested they are in their history, it saddens me. So the need is not only to unite, but to be a kshatriya. I think the moment for Hindus now is to go down in the streets. We don't need to go to the extreme of Muslims who riot and kill, but unless Hindus start coming down in numbers in the streets and protest, both in India and the US, nothing will be achieved. So not only unite, but have a spirit of kshatriya, of fighting for your culture, for your spirituality, for its survival. My museum is only a drop in the ocean. It's a small effort. I'm a non-Indian, non-Hindu, and yet I feel so much for your culture. I defend it so much, but unless the Hindus themselves start waking up, and remember Swami Vivekananda, who was a Kshatriya, who said, wake up, it is time to wake up now, it is time to fight. In the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita, it's time to fight for your culture. You are only a handful, that boy who sang Vande Mataram so beautifully, how many boys like that are there in the US? A handful. So in the US, those of you who are in the US, you need to go around the streets, you need to wake up, you need to wake up the others, you need to motivate the youth, and this is important. We need a revolution now. We need a revolution. Mr. Modi cannot do it alone. He cannot do it alone unless there is a popular, brotherhood. We see in Islam that, whatever you say about Islam, there's a brotherhood among Islam. If you're a Muslim, when I traveled from Paris to Pondicherry, my best friend was a Muslim Moroccan, French Muslim Moroccan. And in Iran, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, he would say Allahu Akbar, people would open their door, they would give us food, they give us drink, they give us a shillam. That is missing in amongst Hindus. If you say Om Namah Shivaya in New York, to another Hindu, they'll think that you're mad, that you're a, lunatic. So we need to, awake brotherhood and sisterhood amongst Hindus, that Hindus feel a kinship, that I'm a Hindu, it is unique to be Hindu, it's a privilege to be born a Hindu, and let me share that privilege with others. So my last word would be wake up and fight. Wake up and fight. All the Hindus, you are an exception. You need to wake up and fight all the other Hindus. I have seen so many Hindu youth, militant, and once they go past 25, 27, they start a business, they marry, and they will forget about their idealism. So you need to wake up and fight and go down in the streets. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Francois ji, and thank you to all our attendees, all his followers, and the only way to offer him respect is to follow what he's saying. So once again, on behalf of FACT, thank you so much for joining, and stay in touch and keep supporting in every way you can. Thank you.
Francois, we will talk afterwards.
Yes, nice.